Hey guys, thank you for joining us again, Car System Installation. We're going to show you the BMW Yassi Pro interface module installed on BMW X1 2015. These modules allow us to add a rear camera, front camera, and two more video inputs for the factory screen on that BMW. We have the BMW09 and we have the BMW12. The difference between the two is mainly the connector. They fit to two different systems. So we have the connector here. This is a 4-pin connector. The other module will have a 6-pin connector. Now, how do we determine that? We have removed the factory screen, and behind the screen we have this connector. We have a video in the description here that shows you how to remove the factory screen. So this is what determines if it was a 6-pin connector. This is the unit is BMW12. Make sure you check this before you place the order. We're going to have a link to order this unit down in the description. Now this unit is completely plug and play in this car. So we have the main unit. We have, this is our LVD cable. This is our video cable between the unit and the factory screen. This one is our power and data communication cable. So this one again, T-harness behind the factory screen, no connections required, just plug and play. We have our video inputs connector. So this one will have the rear camera, front camera, and the two other video inputs available on this unit. We have also this cable. So this one is our rear camera output. So we have the rear connection in here, and this one is our output. So this will supply, this cable will supply 12 volt and ground for your camera. You do not need to find a reverse wire in the back or accessory or anything. The unit received from the vehicle through data changes to reverse and will output an analog 12 volt power for you. So you can connect your camera to here, saves you a lot of time looking for any power. Pretty much plug and play system. Then we have our mode button. In this vehicle you do not need the mode button because you can actually go to the modes using the factory iDrive. We have our infrared control, so this one will allow us to do some changes on the settings. And then we have these three wires that we don't actually have any use for them in most cases. It's an optional touchscreen and RGB input to the unit. Now we're going to show you the installation because this one is fairly simple. So we already ran the camera. The camera that we ran actually already have the same connector for our reverse. So we're just going to plug it in. We do not need this one, but again, if your camera is not the same and you just need the power for it, you're using this connector. So we're first going to plug in the rear camera input to the video line. Then we're gonna plug in our power to our the camera power to the rear trigger in here. Obviously gonna plug in our video options. Next thing is, this is the connector that comes behind the screen. So this goes to the LVD in. So this input to the system. So we're gonna plug it in. And then our output will go into here and back to the screen. Our power data connector, again, it's a T-harness. So the factory connector will slide very simply into here. Make sure it's locked properly. And then we have our power connection, and this is the screen connection. And the last thing we're going to plug in this case is just our infrared, so we can do some changes, and we're going to remove it before we close everything back. In the screen, factory screen, so we have our LVD cable that goes into here and our power. So we're going to start with the power, slide it in, very easy, plugs in, and this one plugs in also. Now before we plug in the unit power, we're going to do some changes on the settings if needed. You can always plug it in and plug it back out after. We have our dip switch here. Our dip switch 1, 2, 3, and 4 are our videos. So one is for our RGB cable that, as I mentioned, we're not using. 2, 3, and 4 are AV1, 2, and 3. So we can add those ones if we want to use them or don't want to use them, so we can leave them. Number 5 is our screen option. So we have 10.2-inch screen or a 7-inch screen. So in this case it's a 10, so we'll leave it to the off position. Number 7 is our backup camera on off. So why would you need it off? If this is a case that you only want to add video to the factory screen but already has a factory camera, you need to put it back to off. That way when it goes to factory, when it goes to reverse, the system will disengage and will show you the factory camera. If you leave it on, it's going to look for the aftermarket camera. So this is our position, and we're going to plug in the power. Okay, so we're going to put the unit completely on the top in here. It's nice and gently on the top, and we're just going to do some changes on the settings. So first, we're going to have our technician go inside. Okay. Okay, so first thing we're gonna test the system. We see that the screen turns on properly. That means we have the right size screen. Hold this for a second. Turn the car off. Okay, and we're gonna unplug the unit. I'm gonna show you what happens when you have the wrong size screen. So we're gonna put the dip switch number 5 to the wrong size screen. Put power back to the unit. I'm gonna start the vehicle. First turn it off, unplug it, start the vehicle. Put the car in reverse. Okay, as you can see, the screen size is not correct, smaller screen, only half the screen. So we're gonna turn the car off again. And we're gonna change the dip switch to the right size. So first we unplug the power, change the dip switch to our 10-inch screen, plug in the power back, and that is it. Okay, I'm gonna start the car. Okay, put the car in reverse, and now we can see we have a full screen. Now, as you can see, these red ones here, those ones are parking sensors. So if we have the parking sensors in this vehicle, if there's a factory parking sensors, as you see right now, even if I move in the back, they won't be moving. And the reason is because the car model that we have on the system in this case is not the correct model. So what we're gonna do, while the car is in reverse, or if you have it in one of the mode options, so to be safe, we're gonna take it out from reverse, and we're gonna go to one of the mode options. So we're gonna press on our menu button in here. So we're gonna hold the menu button, and you can see the screen when I'm holding the menu button change into my Navi mode. Now we're gonna use the remote to change the settings. So I'm gonna go into the settings in here, and I'm gonna go to UTIL 1. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the menu. I'm gonna go to UTIL 1. I'll choose the car model, and I'll change it to E90 2014 and up. And I'm gonna, after I change that, I'm gonna unplug my power from the unit. Let the unit reset. Unplug the power, plug the power back in, and now I'm gonna put the car in reverse. So now when you put the car in reverse, as you can see, we do not have any more the rear sensors, but you still have factory sensors. So what about them? So I'll show you. I'll go to the back and I'll show you. see now the factory sensors are actually active and properly showing. Now the next thing we have, so when you're in reverse, if you want to see the screen, if you want to see the sensor the way it is, you can leave it like that. But if you want to see the sensor in different position, I'll show you what you have. So using the iDrive, if we push this one down, so go back to the screen, and while you're in reverse, if I push it down and hold it, so first option I have is I still have my my camera, and you can see the bumper, but now I have the parking sensor here, which is front and back sensors. And if I hold it again, I can go to complete sensors only. And if I hold it again, I'll go back to my camera screen only. So you can choose whichever position you want to have that. And put the car back in park. So we're gonna go back to the factory screen, and this is pretty much it. Now the system is available at Car System Installation. We're gonna have a link to purchase this unit. As you can see, it's a very simple installation, quickly, easy. And if you have more questions, you can always send us an email. Subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.